really awesome, right? Okay, April, okay, when you grow up, that'll be amazing. But she's amazing, okay? So conquer your fear, you did it today, and congratulations. And guys, this is real life. Sometimes you take it for granted, right? I'm your typical accountant. Somebody made a comment about accountant today. John Darville, you hurt my feelings, but I'm in the World Financial Group, so I'm strong. Anyone who's married in the room? Okay, raise your hand. Okay, proudly married, so that's awesome. So Christina, where are you? You guys have been great, so I'm going to share something here, okay? So, okay, I just want to make sure that I have enough time here. So one of the things that World Financial Group taught us is to appreciate little things, right? We've traveled 22 countries. I remember we have that dinner in front of Trevi Fountain in Rome, and that dinner in Athens, in Greece, or in front of Taj Mahal. Those are amazing things. But in World Financial Group, we appreciate little things. Just last week, we started talking at the kitchen table. That was after my appointment. So 10 p.m., I went up. We started, continued chatting until we're at the second floor. We're in the washroom because her kids are asleep. And she was sitting on a toilet seat. It's closed, okay? She's not doing anything. I said, oh, Christina, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. We need to rest. But the feeling, right? You were able to have the deep conversation with your spouse. So for those who are married, if your spouse is here, okay? Hold their hands, or his or her hand. Say I love you 7 times. In the beginning, when I married Christina, I have to count how many I love yous I have to say. I'm not your affectionate person, okay? So make sure you do that. Kobe Bryant taught me a lesson to do that every single time. I have clients who come to me because of Kobe Bryant, and they realize that life is really fragile, okay? And we have to say and show love to our spouse. Those who are single, I'm not making you feel uncomfortable, but look around the room. They could be here, or go on a trip, and you could see them or meet them at the airport, okay? Sound good? So the next person I'm going to bring up, this is going to blow your mind, okay? So sometimes, things happen for a reason. She was here 5 years ago, very, very pregnant, right? So when I think of her, I think about, the Spartan woman, right? Somebody seen the movie 300, right? They've been through a lot of adversity, but one thing you can see with them is that they're sad, they're crying, they're pumped up all the time. They're going to share an amazing story today. Christina mentioned yesterday, she's my Chief Support Officer. She is Bernardo's CSO, okay? So please help me welcome Miss Laura Baez!
And this is going to be probably one of the most difficult talks that I'm going to have to share with you, but I hope that you take value out of it. The topic today for me is WFG keeps its promises. And this is a very good topic because we are here in the same place that everything started 4 years ago. We were only 6 people, counting me and Bernardo, in this same venue. And we had lots of doubts, lots of bills to pay, lots of dreams, and we would have never imagined that today half of this room is our team. So that's pretty incredible. So when they asked me to give this talk, WFG keeps its promises, what do you think I say? Heck yeah! Okay. So once upon a time, when I was 11 years old, one night, I'm from a very humble beginning. My mom and my dad were really hard, but we didn't have much. I'm the oldest of 3 siblings, and many days I had to make sure that they were fed while my parents were away, and with equivalent of what will be $2 a day. And one night when I was 11 years old, I was with my siblings. My brother is 3 years younger, my sister is 7 years younger. And we were looking at the skies, and I asked them, how do you see your life in the future? And they started to describe how they wanted their lives to be. But I knew that everything we had, everything that our parents could afford, will never actually let us get there. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. If you had a scorecard the night that you were born, the day that you were born, with everything that the stars can tell about you, I'm pretty sure mine would have never screamed millionaire, never screamed that I will actually achieve anything important. I don't know about you, but in Cam's and Irene's case, I'm pretty sure their scorecard didn't say 1.5 million before 40. And I'm pretty sure that didn't say the same thing for my scorecard or any of you, but WFG can make that real. And when my siblings were telling me their dreams, I made a promise. And I said, it's going to be up to me to make sure that my family gets what they are dreaming about. If it's gonna happen because I'm gonna pay the price. And at 11 years old or 10 years old, I made a commitment to them. I made a promise to them that I was gonna do everything possible to get them there. And I work hard. And if I love this phrase that says, if you didn't come from a wealthy family must come from you. And that night, I promised that, and I worked hard, and I got a scholarship, and I busted my butt off, and I got 3 jobs, and I went through school, and I moved to Canada, and I made it happen. And I brought one sibling, who now is one of my MDs in my bake shop. And I brought my sister-in-law, who is the one that prepared all this for all of you, right there. And I brought my sister, who's now a doctor, and now she's here in Canada. And last year in April, I was so excited. I sponsored my parents to come to Canada. And every day, I wrote down in my journal, I'm going to bring my parents, and they're going to be citizens because I paid the price. And I wrote it down every day, and I'm going to buy a farm from them, a farm for them, because my dad is a farmer, and he loved it, and I wrote it for 1.5 years. And then, many of you know, 2 weeks ago, my dad passed at 58 years old. So, I did not make it happen for him. You know, guys, I don't know where you are in life. What promises have you made? But you know something? We always think that we have more time to love, more time to make things happen, more time to give everything that other people deserve. We always think that we have more time. And you know what? We don't. So I don't know if you believe you're working hard, and sorry if I'm going to be too hard on you. But if you're not making $1 million or $1.5 million, you better go and get it now. You know why? Because success is not your birthright. It's your responsibility. Because success is not your calling. It's your duty. Because success is not about waiting for your chance. Succeeding is so that all their people can have a chance, because you are the only chance they have. Because success is not about getting everything right. It's about doing what is right. Success is not about what you can do. It's about what others can do by themselves. Success is not about finding a way. Success is the only way. And success is not a priority. It's urgent. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you have another job. I don't know if you're thinking about this opportunity. I don't know what you're waiting for. But when I was in the hospital caring for my dad, he went into life support at the end of January. My brother and I flew there. And I sat down beside his bed, praying God for more time. I just said, God, please give me more time. And beside his bed, there was this little diary.
that he had been written for the 3 months that he was in the hospital. And every day he'd journal all the things that he wanted God to allow him to do. And that ached me. He wanted to do so much things. He was always waiting and waiting to retire, to be able to do all these things. How many people are out there waiting for 60, 65 years old so they can start living? Is that still you? Are those your parents? Is that your spouse? Waiting for the day where they can actually start living? When I read that, I was like, this is never going to happen to me. I'm going to go after everything. I'm never going to think like one day, the next year I'm going to make it happen. And then I was really looking for a way to save my dad. So I called all the best doctors in Mexico. And I went with my siblings and I sat down. And I took all his charts and I showed them. And I found out that 2 years ago, my dad got the diagnosis. And there was a test that he could have had taken, and there was a experimental drug that he could have taken. And I don't know if that would have made a difference, but he didn't want to tell us. Because the exam itself, the test itself was $8,000, and the drug was about $2,000 every month. So he never told me. And because he knew that we were just starting a business, and we had a little family, and then I brought my siblings, so he knew I had a lot of things. Do you think that anyone will hesitate to ask Cam and Irene for help at $1.5 million? Heck no. And you know, when I was sitting there and the doctor said, yeah, if you could have been here 2 years ago, we could have probably done something. How do you think I felt? Because becoming a millionaire was not in my priorities back then. Because people think that money doesn't buy happiness. Guess what? I wish I could have $1 million. I wish people didn't have to think twice about asking me for something. And right there, I promised myself I'm going to be so filthy rich that it doesn't matter who they are, maybe they are not even my family members, nobody ever will hesitate or ask for my help. And I'm going to make a difference for thousands and thousands of people. And I'm going to help all of you. Never go through what I went through. Me. I wanted him to see me rise. I wanted him to see all his hard work paying off. I wanted him in this room looking at me and the person that I have become and the beautiful family that I have created and the success that I have built. But I know he's watching. And his life for me is going to be now a testimony of the power that you guys have. When you come into WFG, guys, when you sit down across the kitchen table, you promise people lots of things. You look into their eyes and you tell them that this is going to work. So when they asked me to give this topic, if WFG keeps his promises, WFG does. WFG does. But with big power comes big responsibility. 4.5 years ago, when Cam sold the idea to Bernardo to join this team, he made the promises, not WFG. And he made sure that when I was expecting a baby, when Bernardo was in Vegas by himself, with no money and no job and not everything, and when we were spending our nights and days in the office, raising our 2 children there, when we were starting, he made sure that he kept his promises. Are you willing to take that risk? Guys, everything, I don't know what is your excuse. You might be thinking, I have another job, I'm too busy, my kids are too little, my kids are too old, I am too old, I'm too young, I don't have a market, I don't know what your excuse is. But now, I can tell you that life comes with struggles. But here in WFG, you have an opportunity to turn those struggles into stories. You can make every fallback a comeback. You can turn every rejection into inspiration, every battle into victory. There are moments in your life where you can choose to either extend your past or start building your future. And for me, the day that I was holding my dad's hand when he passed, I was like, no more. This is not going to happen ever again for me or for the families that are in my team. Guys, you have to keep your promises. Keep your promises to your spouse, because when Bernardo moved here, when he told me you should move to Canada, he promised me. I told him I don't want to leave my family. I don't want to go to the cold. I don't want to leave my country. I don't want to leave my tacos. And he promised me that it was going to be for the better. When we joined WFG, and I was so fearful, it was so hard, and I was pregnant, and I was so scared, and bills were piling up. He was so sure that this was going to work. And I look him in the eyes and I ask him, Bernardo, how do you know that it's going to be worth it? And he said, because this is the first place where it's up to me to win. And if it's up to me, I'm going to make it happen. And he delivered. He delivered. Because when I had to say bye to my dad, it was so hard to know that I could not buy more life for him. But it was also so fulfilling when he told me before he went into life support that he was in peace, because he knew that I had brought my brother, I had brought my sister, and I was bringing my mom. And he knew that I could take care of them, that I had enough, that it was not a problem anymore, that I was going to look after them. He was in peace. How many of you could say that? On Friday last week, it was a hard day because the government of Canada replied to me and they said, your parents have been approved for your permanent residency. And my dad never saw that. My dreams of buying a farm and doing all these things never came to pass. So you need to be urgent. You need to be urgent. After you leave here, you need to be urgent because you need to keep your promises for your spouse. You have to keep promises for your family, your children, your parents, whoever they are in your family. You promise them. And I don't know about what promises you made. Maybe not. They might not be WFG related, but you promise things. When I was 11 years old, I promised my siblings, and I think I have done okay in that. When my parents, I promised them to bring them to Canada, and I could not fulfill that. But that's not going to happen again. And I hope that doesn't happen to you. But more importantly, guys, you need to keep promises to your teams. You need to keep the promises to every single person you recruit. You need to get to work. If it's not for you, it's for them. Because imagine, I have made promises. We promised Damien and Fiona that we were going to retire Damien. We promised Mama Rose that when everything she went through, it was going to be a testimony. We were going to make her a hero for people, and everybody was going to listen to her story and be transformed by it. We promised Ephraim he was going to become that hero for his son. We promised many things to many people. Shame on us if we are so selfish that we only focus on ourselves. You need to deliver, guys. I don't know what brought you to WFG, guys. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what's your excuse. But there's so many people that need you that you haven't even met yet. Like when we met Cam, he didn't even realize how much he was going to change our lives. When we met Irene and Cam, when they were struggling in the beginning, and they still go at it when Irene was sick, when Cam had to cry in the parking lot after feeding the children and having his wife sick, he didn't know that all that sacrifice was going to pay in my life, in my children's life. So whatever you're going through, whatever you're struggling with, whatever people reschedule, people cancel on you, every struggle, guys, is the gist of success.
every struggle that you go through is almost like buying a new ticket for the big prize. Maybe not your prize yet, but someone else's life is going to better from that. Guys, I just have to tell you, I don't know, many of you might have jobs, and you're still thinking, is the WFG the thing? For me, having a job is like a small death. It's like a slow death. You don't feel it, you kind of don't notice, but at the end of the day, you die. Because my dad waited for his retirement to start living. When you come to WFG and you break through that, it's like a fast and painful death. Because you are dying to your old self to give birth to the champion that you were meant to be. You were born for something big. So die to your fears, die to your doubts, die to all those, and give birth to the new you. Because you owe it to people, to your teams, to your family, to your friends. But more than anything, guys, this is my dad. You need to keep the promises to yourself. You need to, I don't know what promises you have made to yourself. For me, I promised myself that nobody under my watch is going to have to go through the pain that I had to endure, knowing that I couldn't buy more life for the person that meant the most to me. And I was not urgent enough to actually make it happen when he needed me the most. So, guys, there's a phrase that I love, and that's, I think I heard it from Emma Lett. Go and find your why, because otherwise, your why is going to find you. So thank you very much, guys. See you later.